Hey guys, my name is Papurr and I've been running the biggest travel hacking and credit hacking community in the whole of the world. And in front of me I've got Rob. He's one of our members that's been a part of Credit Club 2.0 for a while. In this video we're going to break down his time a part of Credit Club 2.0 and what he's been able to accomplish. So Rob, do you want to introduce yourself, tell the people a little bit about you, what you do and what you've been able to accomplish so far with Credit Club 2.0?
Yeah, definitely, mate. But yeah, my name's Rob. I'm part of Credit Club for just probably a little over a year now. And, since I started with you guys and the support that you and your team gave me from the beginning, this year, mate, I've done a lot of traveling. I think like six, 7 different countries, flying obviously in style, which is what we want to do, like business class, first class, which has been a great experience. It's just not something that seems possible. It's a hell of a lot of money, isn't it, basically? So even if you do have a large amount of money, it still doesn't always make sense to pay for those tickets, right? It's not something that makes that much sense. But then when you realize, actually, the people that are flying first and in business, most of these people using points, right? So and obviously using your inside knowledge that we've had in order to help gain those points, and obviously within the course manufactured spend spoken about a lot. This is something which is a very interesting component to add in these points. From my point of view as well, I also run a business, so I run a logistics business, and it's opened my eyes completely to getting something back for the money that we're spending, right? That's really helped us compounding those points and really building up a large account balance, should we say, of points that can be utilized for flights and upgrading flights. So yeah, man, really happy that obviously that I joined. I've learned a lot and I'm still putting those things into practice now, and it's just a complete change of perception and perspective for me, which allowed me to just hone in and really focus on getting something back for the money that I'm spending, but also being smart and using the system a little bit in order to get these points back to help enjoy my life.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I was going to say is, since you've been with us, Rob, you've sent us plenty of photos. I'm going to throw them up on the screen. These are some photos of Rob in business class. Recently, like literally 4 hours ago, Rob sent me some more of him flying Q suites, and we kind of had a little bit of a back and forth because I just flew Q suites to New York from Dubai, and I think it's absolutely amazing flying that airline. So yeah, man, you've been able to use these points, and instead of flying economy, now you fly business and first class, which is amazing. So do you want to tell the people what countries you've been able to go to using your points in business class and how much they're costing you? Because we always tell people, the business class flights aren't free. You're still going to pay, but it's always cheaper than economy because you're still paying the taxes and fuel charges. So, tell people, how much you spent a little bit, but obviously, compared to what the actual price of the business class, you're getting it for a lot cheaper, because a business class flight to Thailand would cost you £6,000 there and back. But how much did you pay?
I think it was like £450. I think I went on it was like off peak. It was a decent price ticket, but yeah, £550.
Yeah,
business class. That's 4 legs. So if you're flying, I flew to Doha first, so that was one leg business class to Doha, and then obviously on to Bangkok, and then back to Heathrow again. So that's four legs. But I also did South Africa as well, which was an incredible experience. I actually flew British Airways, going back to the Q suites on Qatar Airways. That was definitely a step up for me. Like, that's by far the best airline that and business that I've flown on. It's definitely closer to the first class kind of bracket, isn't it? The Q suites. It's like that extra bit special, and the way that they come out and make your table when you're about to have dinner, you feel like you're in a 5-star restaurant, and dining on demand, all that stuff, mate. It's all the good stuff.
Yeah, and we'll put all these photos up so you guys can see Rob actually in the business class flights. So that's amazing. So Rob, another question I was going to ask you is, we have these one-to-one group chats. You have your own personal one-to-one group chat. How have you found those one-to-one group chats? Have you benefited from them? Do you find it useful? How's that been for you?
Yeah, massively, mate. That was huge, especially at the beginning. At the beginning, you need the most support, right? That's when you've got the most questions. You're really trying to feel your way through. You're trying to get to grips with it and make sure you're doing the right things a lot. And ultimately, I remember using the chats a lot, do you know what I mean? And getting responses from your team, but also you. I remember that's what stuck out to me as well at the beginning, was that you were present, basically. You were there, you were visible. A lot of these courses, I've done a few different courses over the time, and a lot of the person who's doing the ad, you speak to, I was sold on you, and then obviously usually you go into the course and you never see that person or hear from ever again. But the difference was you were visible, you're there, we still chat, you make yourself available, you care, you want to help, you want everybody to get the best out of it, do you know what I mean? So it's a genuine energy there, and I always respected that and appreciated it. So yeah, really, really good, mate.
No, I really appreciate that, and that's what I do try, because with us it's all about really getting results. And you've done a call with someone on my team before you joined, and we ask all these pre-qualifying questions, because if we can't help you, there's genuinely no point in you joining, because because it's a waste of my time and a waste of your time, but also at the end of the day, a waste of your money. So that's why we take so much pride and effort into actually getting the right people in and getting them the results. Just like you, in a year you've been flying around the world, and that's what you wanted to accomplish. So that's amazing. The other thing I was going to say is, and it's a question we get asked a lot, is the actual videos and the course content. Is it easy to digest? Was it, you know, easy to go through? You know, you run a logistics company, you know, it takes a lot of your time to run a company. How easy was it for you to actually go through the material and implement some of the stuff that you learned?
Really easy, mate. Really easy. It's just about setting aside that time, isn't it? And making sure that you've got the time to really give it the energy and time and commitment that it needs. Because like anything, you could buy any course, but if you don't see it for what it is, if you don't commit to it, if you're not open to and receptive to the opportunity and then act on the opportunity, then you may as well not do the course. The course is brilliant, and if you give it the right energy and commitment, then you're going to get the right result. You know what I mean? So it's like you just have to be receptive to the opportunity and see the opportunity. There's opportunity everywhere in life. If you can see them, you can go and get them. If you can't see them, then you can't help that person. Do you know what I mean? You have to be able to see the opportunity and then act on it, which I'm sure, you know, if people are watching this, they're sensing an opportunity, right? So it's about going for it and making it count.
No, 100%. And just like you said, it's all about mindset and the way you go into something. If you put the input in, you're definitely going to get the output, is what I always say to everyone. And just a final question, because I know you were in the car and you had to go somewhere, and we just did this pretty quick and randomly. But one thing I was going to ask you is, what would you say to someone that, you know, wants to join the program but is in two minds? That was just like you know, you jumped on a call, you wanted to join, but what made you take that leap? And what would you say to someone now that you've been in here for a year about taking that leap with us?
Yeah, I would say naturally, I think, especially with the amount of online courses that there are these days, there's kind of something in your brain that makes you skeptical, right, of all these kind of courses. So naturally, at the beginning, you feel a bit of skepticism, and that is based around fear, right? That's based around a fear approach. So I would say forget the fear and focus on opportunity. Do you know what I mean? Focus on opportunity. Take a punt. In life, no risk, no reward. So if you feel like this is a risk, then okay, don't do it, but you won't get no reward for it. If you feel like this is a risk that you want to take, don't get the reward for the risk. So that's what I would say, really. And like I said, if you do it, just commit to it, give it the time, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid. Don't feel. The other thing is, sometimes you feel like you're bothering people by asking all these questions, but actually your team, that's what you want, right? You want people asking questions. You want them to get through it. You can't help them if they don't ask the question, right?
Yeah. So, and the thing is, we always say there's no such thing as a silly question. At the end of the day, we're here to help you. The more you ask, the more we can give you, and the more we know of what's going on in the situation, because, you know, we help a lot of people. So the more active you are in your group chat, the more we can obviously help you. And then just one final question, because you said you've joined a lot of courses. Where would you put us, you know, in the courses that you've tried out, and what would you give us out of 10?
Yeah, mate, to be fair, of all of the courses, I've got the most out of this one. I can see real results out of this one. It's tangible results. It's clear to see. Like, there's no if or buts. It's like I'm traveling like I wanted to, and I'm flying business class like I wanted to, and it's not costing me the money that you would expect. So ultimately, it does what it says on the tin. For me personally, that's a 10, right? Because I've come into the course wanting to achieve something, and I've achieved it. So that is as good as you can get, in my opinion. But like I said, it all comes down to the mindset and the opportunity. So that has to click in. You have to have that click moment, that realization, and then act on it.
That's amazing. And yeah, man, it puts a smile on my face when people say that. So it's amazing that you've been able to benefit. And, you know, thank you for taking your time out of the day to record this video with us, Rob. Any questions you have, absolutely anything, you know, always ask us in the group chat. But if anyone watching this video has any questions as well, feel free to comment it down below. And, you know, if you want to message Rob privately or get a hold of Rob, you know, if he's okay with that, you know, you guys can check him out and drop a message, and maybe he can tell you about his time a little bit more in detail. But on that note, we're going to call the video here. Thank you again for your time, Rob.
No worries, Papurr. Top man. Speak again soon, mate.